Pete, over to Tottenham. Patrick Dorgu is on the list of left backs. Obviously, a position they need depth in, and a league where they, went and got Destiny Udogie a couple of years ago. Could you see this as a move that makes sense for Tottenham?
Yeah, it makes total sense for Tottenham. Again, he would fit the profile for the type of player that Tottenham are trying to sign right now. He's a very young player with huge potential. A bit like having signed Archie Gray from Leeds and Lucas Bergvall, two players with huge potential who are really being bought for the future and for now as well. I think he could come in and make an impact in that Tottenham team. I don't think he would be first choice ahead of Destiny Udogie, but we know Udogie does have his injury problems and even suspension problems, so he could come in there and play at left back. He can also play down the left flank, left-sided winger, so would offer a lot of versatility to Ange Postecoglou's plans if they were to make a move for him. They were interested in Dorgu during the summer transfer window, but were priced out of a deal for the Lecce man. I think they were looking around 30 to 35 million euros, and obviously Tottenham did spend quite a bit of money in the summer, so they were never really going to spend that amount on Dorgu. But yeah, he's a top player, a Denmark international already, still only 19. His potential has caught the attention of a number of top clubs across Europe. Chelsea also strongly linked with Dorgu as well, and I'm sure they'd be right in the mix if he was to leave Lecce, so it wouldn't be a straightforward race for Tottenham if they did make a move for Dorgu. But yeah, again, I think he's fits the criteria for what Tottenham are trying to do right now, is try and sign some of the best young talent around Europe and develop them to become first team regulars in Ange Postecoglou's plans.
And Paul, what do you make of some of Ange Postecoglou's comments about not worrying about controlling matches and, kind of saying that, he hasn't seen his team give up like they did in that match with Brighton? What do you make of what he said and what that means for the future of Ange at Tottenham?
He's got credit in the bank after what we did in the first season. He changed the style of play. He changed the way that the fans watched the team. In the last 18, 24 months before Ange came in, it was a tough watch to watch Tottenham. There are questions been asked because fans are getting frustrated, because I can see it, fans can see it, people watching the game can see it. You go 2-up at Brighton and you play the same way with the be so wide open and the defensive frailties and such silly mistakes as well. Not necessarily down to the manager. The tactics and the style of play is down to the manager, absolutely. But individual errors, like one of the Brighton goals where Udogie's 3 yards out from his own goal and he goes to clear it with his right foot and he gets it all wrong and he makes a mess of it. Managers can't account for individual errors, but I think the thing is, it's the regularity that Tottenham are conceding goals and how obvious it is that they're conceding goals. The high line, playing the 4-3-3 with Kulusevski on the right, Maddison on the left and Bentancur is the only one that's the sitter, if you like. It's almost inevitable. He's playing with 5 attacking players and it's leaving the defence so exposed and they're getting found out week in, week out. It's something that he may look, he's going to have to change. Because if they are to go to the next level, they are going to win things, they are going to challenge for Champions League places, they can't lose games in the way that they do and concede goals in the fashion that they do. They're more than capable of going on a run of 5 or 6 games without getting beaten, like they did before the Brighton game, like they did at the start of last season when they went 10 games, the first 10 games. They're a team that are capable of going on that run, but at some point it's going to hit the buffers because of the way they defend and the way they play. And in his second season, teams are starting to find him out. So it's the first time that he's been questioned. Listen, I like him. I think he's honest. I think he's open. And he's, from what you get from him in a press conference, is real emotion, it's truth. You saw him after the Brighton game, he spoke truth and he was genuinely disappointed, the worst performance that his team have given. He won't send his team out and say, look, let's go and play gung-ho, wide open, leave loads of spaces. He'll be saying in that dressing room, look, we're going to play high, we're going to press high, we're going to keep a high line, but at the same time, defensive responsibility, these are the duties and this is what we're going to have to do. He's a man of vast experience. You look at what he's won. He's a very, very intellectual coach, a very clever coach, and he's not sending out his players to go gun-ho and to lose a 2-goal lead at half-time. And I think it's a situation that he will address, but the players have to take responsibility as well.
And Pete, there's no doubt Tottenham have loads of attackers, but still being linked with another winger, and they have been over the past few months. Most recently, Jamie Bino-Gittens of Dortmund, the young English winger. Could they make a move for him this summer? Obviously, that would probably be one that's quite expensive, right?
Yeah, it won't be a cheap deal. He's the next one off the Dortmund production line, trying to follow the likes of Jude Bellingham and Jadon Sancho, who obviously made the move from England to Germany for a quicker pathway to first team football, and obviously they both hit the heights and earned big money moves away after their success at Dortmund. But yeah, Bino Gittens, very talented young player, It's not just Tottenham who are looking at him. There's also interest from Liverpool and Chelsea as well. So yeah, it's going to be if he continues to make the progress that he is doing at Dortmund right now as well, there'll be a host of clubs who'll be ready to sign Bino Gittins, who obviously came through the ranks at Manchester City before making that move to Dortmund in 2022. But he's already made 67 appearances for Dortmund, and probably proves that he was right to make that move to Germany and leave Manchester City as well. He's also started the season in good form for Dortmund. He's got 4 goals in 9 appearances across all competitions. So I do think there's obviously, with that form for Dortmund playing Champions League football, it's going to attract interest from top clubs as well, and Tottenham wouldn't be doing their due diligence if they weren't one of those clubs looking at Bino Gittins. But they're quite well stocked for wingers right now. Obviously we know Son can play out there. They've got Timo Werner on another loan as well in the position that Bino Gittins plays. But yeah, he's a top young player, and there'll be a lot of interest in him over the coming transfer windows as well. So Tottenham would not be doing their homework if they weren't in there looking at him as well.